Hey guys, so in today's video, we have some very interesting news to talk about. Lazlow Jones has actually confirmed that he is leaving Rockstar Games after 20 years. And this is massive because he has been one of the backbones of Rockstar really since all their big Grand Theft Auto titles started taking off. Now, I know this is a little bit confusing because some of you guys might say, well, wait a minute, isn't Lazlow just a character in GTA 5 and Grand Theft Auto Online? And he absolutely is. He's been in more than just Grand Theft Auto 5 and GTA Online, dating all the way back to Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, San Andreas, Liberty City Stories, Vice City Stories, GTA 4, episodes from Liberty City, and obviously GTA 5. So he's played a role in almost every single Grand Theft Auto title, even Grand Theft Auto Online, but in real life, he's actually had a bigger role with Rockstar. Behind the scenes, Lazlow is one of the writers of the game's scripts, providing political and cultural satire on the radio and writing dialogue for street NPCs. And Lazlow has arranged voice cameos in the Grand Theft Auto games for several key figures. Many of them are his friends in real life. Now, after gaining great popularity for his work on Grand Theft Auto 3, Lazlow took a larger role in Grand Theft Auto Vice City, as Rockstar hired his production company, Radio Lazlow, to co-write and produce all the radio stations in GTA Vice City, as well as making him a minor character and having some pedestrian dialogue. And again, in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, he co-wrote and produced all of the in-game radio, as well as hosting Entertainment America on WCTR. He returned as a host in Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories. He also returned again in Vice City Stories. And Lazlow is one of the most unique characters in Grand Theft Auto because he's one of the few direct links between the 3D era and the HD era, as these two universes don't share a lot in common. In fact, he's one of the only characters to appear in all of those titles. So long story short, not only does Lazlow have a huge role as like an actual character in Grand Theft Auto, he has a huge role in helping Rockstar create these amazing titles. And he's been doing so now for 20 years. Well, it looks like he has actually decided to leave Rockstar Games for a myriad of personal reasons. He actually announced his departure on Instagram as well as LinkedIn too. And I'll actually leave both of those posts in the description. So he ended up saying this a couple of days ago. Getting off a plane from New Zealand in 2018, I received a phone call that changed the direction of my life. It was my sister informing me she had accelerated cancer. Shortly thereafter, my father had a diagnosis as well, and then my mother had heart surgery. I became the primary caregiver for my sister and spent hours each week in chemo wards, navigating healthcare insurance drama, insane expenses, late-night emergency room trips, cooking, cleaning, nursing, cursing, and attempting to help a person to try and keep even as they know they are dying. It is beyond stressful. During the journey, I transferred her to Memorial Sloan Kettering, which is rated as one of the top 2 cancer hospitals in the country. The staff, care, and technology at MSK is incredible. Last year, during intense chemo, she said she wanted to go to Norway before she died. So I booked plane tickets and took a very sick girl on the trip of her dreams. When the pandemic hit, it made the situation radically difficult and even more onerous in caring for someone with cancer. But it exposed and strengthened a lot of solidarity amongst friends, family, and neighbors you used to barely speak to as people rallied to fight an unseen enemy. Look after each other and unite to get through an insanely stressful and challenging time. Journeys begin and end, and this one is nearing the end. Fortunately, I've had a lot of love and support from friends through this. Hopefully you can reach out and be kind to a friend or stranger. It makes all the difference in the world, as we don't know how long we'll be in it. And he also made this announcement on his LinkedIn page as well, referring to his experience with Rockstar as worked for them for nearly 20 years, which to me means he's already left working from Rockstar and probably has been for a bit now since making this announcement. But he also went on to announce some pretty exciting stuff, that he has several other projects he's working on, which include shows for Netflix and Disney and projects with other video game companies. So that's obviously great news for Lazlow, and you obviously have to have nothing but 100% respect for this decision. Obviously, he was dealing with some incredibly serious family issues, and that should obviously come before everything, even working for a renowned company like Rockstar. So you have to feel like Lazlow ended up making the 100% correct decision here. And honestly, the only thing we can do is wish him the best in whatever his next endeavor is. Now, as far as Rockstar goes, this is another huge blow, as they are losing one of the backbones of their company over the last 20 years. In fact, it hasn't been a great couple of years for Rockstar, as the Rockstar we've come to know and love has just been evaporating. I mean, recently, Dan Houser ended up leaving, Leslie Benzies ended up leaving, and now we see Lazlow Jones leaving. I mean, these guys were the heart and soul of Rockstar for the last 20 years. And it honestly kind of makes me a little bit worried for the future. Now, I do want to give Rockstar the benefit of the doubt, because I am confident they are still surrounded with an incredible group of talented people and, just an amazing team to create video games that we'll hopefully see for years to come. But it still is a little bit worrying when, you see all these big-time guys say, you know what, it's time for me to step away. Because it does make you wonder if they can be replaced. And some of those guys might be completely irreplaceable. Like, how do you replace a guy like Lazlow? How do you replace a guy like Dan Houser and Leslie Benzies? It's tough. It'd be like being on a basketball team and suddenly there wasn't LeBron James. You don't just go pick another LeBron James off the tree and say, here, go do the exact same thing. It doesn't work that way. So it does make me a little bit worried for the future. I want to completely stress again that I am not saying, darn it, Lazlow, why aren't you still working at Rockstar? I mean, he dedicated 20 years of his life to this company, created some amazing titles, and it's obviously up to him whatever he wants to do next. So that's definitely not what I want to get across in this video. It's just a little bit worrying that, they might not have the guy to replace him, because he could seriously be irreplaceable. Now, other than what Lazlow has posted on his social media, both he and Rockstar have not officially commented yet on his leaving of the company. There's been other media outlets like Kotaku that have reached out. They have also not gotten any more information. So it'll be interesting to see if we hear from them on a Newswire post dedicated to him and the work he's done, or if there's any official announcement or follow-up. I'm honestly not expecting anything, and honestly, that's Lazlow's choice. He might not want to go out that way, so you kind of have to respect whatever decision he wants to do. So I will leave Lazlow's post, his LinkedIn page, his Instagram page. Now, if you do end up reaching out to Lazlow on either Instagram or LinkedIn, just be sure to send him some kind words. That's the message that he wanted to have passed on in the very last sentence on his Instagram page. So Lazlow will definitely be missed. It'll be interesting to see how this has an impact on Rockstar, and also what games he has worked on that haven't come out yet that we'll still see his fingerprints on. Is that going to be another Grand Theft Auto title like GTA 6? Is it going to be another unannounced Rockstar game? I do hope in the next Grand Theft Auto game that, number one, he is in there as either a radio host or a character, but number two, they choose to memorialize him in some way, shape, or form, whether it's something simple or silly like an internet article or a little Easter egg that you can find of him. That would be super cool. So I would love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about Lazlow Jones leaving Rockstar Games after 20 years. How do you think this is going to impact the company, and how do you think this is going to impact future titles? Let me know what you guys are thinking in those comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and Red Dead Redemption videos that I'm doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.